Okay. Professor 6. This is Arabella, my youngest child. She is 15. And please disregard our house. We have, as you know, just moved in. I still have boxes and stuff everywhere. Beside Arabella is Columbus, or Columbus Joe as we call him. He has actually been deemed her emotional support animal. We went through the process with her doctor and letters and everything. She doesn't want me to videotape her, so I'm just going to turn it to the lamp. So we'll go ahead and get started. She has been through a little bit of therapy sessions before. She prefers not to do them. She doesn't like to talk to people that she doesn't know very well. So we stopped them a couple years ago. She's been doing great and has found... Oh, and there's Miss Molly. She wants to come and be in this too, apparently. So here we go. I hope I do you well. And I just want to say thanks again. Awesome class. I kind of might take it over, wish to take it over when I'm not so sick and have a rough beginning of the semester. Thanks. Hey Arabella, it is Thursday. It is May 6, 2021. You have come to me today because you've got some things on your mind that you'd like to discuss. I'm glad that you have brought Columbus with you and that we're meeting at your home, which is not typical, but your parents have okayed this. I do want to remind you that anything you say to me is confidential. I won't discuss with anyone else unless you are talking about hurting yourself and or possibly hurting another person. I know the last session we talked about dealing with depression and stress and anxiety, and some of that started from when your parents were divorced. So started with some things going on at school. What would you like to start with today? The last time we had left off with stress and we're going to move on with anxiety. What is the biggest thing with anxiety that you physically feel when you're starting to feel it come on? Right now I can feel and kind of sense you're not wanting to talk, and that's okay. Is there another way we can work on this?
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I noticed that there are paintings in your house. You told me before in another session that you paint a lot.
Yeah.
Why do you paint so much? Is there a reason behind that?
Do it because it helps me calm down and keep my anxiety under control. It helps me keep my anxiety under control.
So the painting, in a sense, is helping you. It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Is there a certain kind of paintings that you do more than another?
Not really. I kind of just paint whatever.
Okay, so on one hand, I hear you saying you paint because it helps bring you down, calms you down. Mm-hmm. Have you been challenged doing different paintings? Do they stress you out in any way, or?
I mean, they can be frustrating, but they never stress me out.
Okay. Is there certain particular kinds of paint that you use, or do you just use all the same kind of paint? And
I use acrylic paint. I have oil paint, but I haven't used it yet. I use some watercolor.
What do you do with all your paintings? Because I'm assuming that your parents do not have enough wall space for all of your paintings.
I'll give them away for Christmas or birthday presents, and soon I'm going to start selling some.
I like that idea. So when you're doing your painting, what kind of thoughts are you having? Are you deliberating this anxiety? Are you thinking about that? What happens in your mind when you're painting?
Nothing really happens. It just relaxes me. It keeps my mind off everything. makes me feel better.
That is a wonderful thought. Right now I can see Columbus is doing his job and keeping you kind of focused and calm while we're discussing things. Lately, how's your anxiety level been?
It's been pretty low.
And why do you think that is?
I have my dog to help with all of my anxiety now again.
Why didn't you have your dog before?
Because our landlord would not allow him to, and we didn't have the money to go through the legal ways to keep him.
So now that you have Columbus every day, how are things with him? Is he listening and doing his job? Or?
He listens pretty well, but we gotta get him back to how he used to be with listening. Kind of slacked off a little bit.
Would you ever want another different type of dog, a smaller dog, or you've always liked big dogs?
I like big dogs. The only smaller dog I'd probably want would be a corgi. But other than that, I just want big dogs.
Okay. When you're having these anxiety attacks, have you ever had an anxiety attack?
Yeah, I have.
What does that feel like? I mean, tell me about it.
It's very overwhelming. It makes it hard to breathe or think straight.
When you say hard to breathe, does it mean like in your chest it's hard to breathe, or?
It feels like my throat is closing up and my chest gets heavy.
Okay. And when you're not at home painting, what are the ways that you have been able to deal with and understand that your anxiety attack, calming yourself down when you're not home or not with Columbus?
I normally just try and go outside if I'm inside to get air, and if I'm already outside, just try to get away from wherever I am.
You know, and I completely understand that because I myself have anxiety. I like to be alone, whether it's, in my bedroom at home or the backyard, in peace, quiet, no one talking to me. Does it bother you more when people are talking to you, like when you're having that time, that moment?
It depends on who it is. Certain people it'll help, but others it'll just make it worse.
Okay. What about listening to music when you're having those? Does that calm you down or does it make you worse?
I've never listened to music when something.
Okay. So right now, if you're in the office with me, let's say I can sense that you are just not the normal Arabella when you come into my office, because usually you're a pretty carefree kid. I've gotten the sense that you're an independent kid. Being 15, what are you, freshman, sophomore in school? If right now you had an anxiety attack, something either on the way here in the car ride or maybe sitting in the waiting room, something happened or you had a thought, what would be the best way for me to be able to help you?
Probably if there's something weighted to put on me to help the pressure. I don't know what else would probably help.
What does the weight do?
Like a weighted blanket just makes me feel safe and secure.
Okay, so it's basically feeling some of your anxiety is feeling safe. Has something happened that has made you not feel safe?
Not recently, it's just I've always kind of felt unsafe with where I grew up. There's always, just a little scary going outside.
Okay, so part of it was the environmental factor of outside. Now, are there any factors on the inside with parents or siblings or animals or?
No, there was some fighting that got scary when I was younger, and at some points, but other than that, no.
Okay. Instead of thinking that the outside is scary, What are 2 ways that I can help you show you that the outside is not always scary? Not every moment of every time is not scary.
I don't think it's necessarily scary. It's just with people and how they are, especially around here, they're very sketchy. That's what scares me.
So it's not necessarily outside the trees, the birds, the cars
Yeah.
going by, the trains. It's the type of people that that not necessarily interact with, but come within your space or your bubble or the surroundings of your home.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you always go outside alone, or do you prefer to be with someone?
I prefer to be with someone, and if not with someone, walking one of the dogs or taking them with me.
So you do have a safety precaution plan with going outside. I think we've had a great talk today. I think we need to talk a little bit on stress. You are 15 and in high school, and that's a pretty hard time in anyone's life. I would like to offer my sense of stress when I know when I was younger, your age, music was my number one relief. Listening to music, or even playing it because I played an instrument. Have you thought about how you can use different things to help you relieve some stress?
A little bit, really.
What's the little? Like, you only have stress a little, or you've thought about ways to...
Well, I have my 2 ways to help with stress. The painting and the color guard are very helpful with that. I mean, color guard comes with its own different type of stress, but performing and doing the runs, that's the help that's the stress relief.
Okay. So next week I would like to hear more about what you use to alleviate stress, like running, or what do you do with color guard you could use to de-stress. And I'd like to know about how many times a week you are having to do those things. And if it helps to write it down, please do so. You can put it in a journal form, or even if you put it in your phone on the calendar or sticky notes. Is there anything else that this week that you need to talk about? Something from school or home, friends?
No, I don't think so.
All right. That's great. Thank you so much.